adjusted market capitalization weighted index. The components of the index are 15 screen equities. Can't hear me? Yeah, okay. The components are 15 screen equities with weights applied to component stocks and subsectors from 7 sectors of the Nigerian stock market. Each subsector weight is capped at 40%, while the weight of each component stock is capped at 30%. The base date was December 31st, 2009, and the base value was 1,000. The key criteria was qualitative screening, i.e. exclusion of unethical subsectors, and then equity screening, or what we call quantitative screening, which uses a set of generally accepted financial ratios and factors certified by the Lotus Capital Sharia Advisory Board. Other screening criteria included the fact that the index components must rank top in terms of market capitalization and average volume traded daily over the last 6 months. This is to ensure that only large cap, highly liquid, yet compliant stocks are selected. The CEO has talked about the reason for the index, so I'll just go directly into some of the details of the index. This is the index methodology for the analysts who might be interested in looking at that in further detail, but it's basically a simple market cap based index, market capitalization based index. In addition to that, we have an index weight factor, which is an adjustment factor of stock assigned to the index on the rebalancing date to adjust for any sort of corporate actions that have occurred within the period. And this is rebalanced biannually in July and January, both June 30th and December 31st closing dates. In addition, companies majority owned by one person or group cannot control more than 40% of the index market cap in order to manage key man or concentration risks. The subsector weights are as illustrated: 39.9% in building materials sector, 18% in personal and household products, 37% food products, and small exposure to pharmaceuticals, crop production, transport-related services, energy equipment, and services. The screening process, the first step, is removal of the sectors that are prohibited, which are listed: insurance, banking, alcohol, pork, defense, gambling, and entertainment. And the second step, which is a lot more involved, is the quantitative screening, which is a financial screen that weeds out companies that don't meet certain financial ratios, such as debts to capital, cash screens, level of interest income to revenue, and so on. And only those stocks that pass through all 4 of these screens will then qualify for further screening. In terms of performance, I'm sure everybody's interested to know how the index has performed. And as I said earlier, the empirical statistics afforded by such an index will be a boon to this market. From 2009 to date, we can see that the NSE Islamic has outperformed the Nigerian All-Share Index by about 10 points in 2009, almost by double 2010, 20% 2011, and year to date is slightly trading behind. And year to date is at July 27, 2012. So this puts to pay the fact that ethical investments might force you to underperform the market. That's not necessarily true, but I'll also add a caveat that this data has also been taken during a market downturn. So what we can surmise is that this index is a very good defensive tool for any portfolio. An additional factor that I should mention is that the screening criteria, by its construct, selects companies that have very limited risk exposure in terms of debts and have very excellent working capital management. So you actually end up with a pool of more conservative and possibly more sustainable investments. The key benefits, again, have been outlined by the CEO previously, so I'll just gloss through this. But it's an important diversification tool for all investors, ethical or not. It's an important way of attracting foreign investors who are looking for such investments. It's also a basis for creating new products in this market. And with the release of non-interest banking guidelines by the central bank, we anticipate increased awareness towards this area, this industry, Islamic finance, and it could be an important benchmark for Islamic equity investments in Nigeria. It may also act as a reference point for further products, such as Islamic Bond Index and so on, and as a general benchmark for the broader ethical fund space. That's all. Thank you.